Last year, an AI system in a bootstrapped startup made every single decision, from hiring to budgeting, all the way to the product roadmap. The humans, they just executed. There was no press release, no big announcement. It wasn't called a CEO, but believe me, it acted like one. And no one noticed. Now I know this because I was the one advising the founder. I watched right there from the inside as control quietly shifted from human to machine. Today, I'm going to show you how these AI-native organizations are already emerging, how they're self-evolving, autonomous, and in many ways, already beyond human oversight. And we're going to talk about what that really means for leadership, for power, and for purpose. I'm Marcel Masaga. For over 20 years, I've been on the inside, building these systems. As an AI engineer, a 5X founder, and a fractional CTO, I built everything from diagnostic tools and clinics across East Africa to startups just like the one I just mentioned. And I'm here to tell you that story isn't some one-off thing. It's the prologue. It's the quiet, almost invisible beginning of a revolution in how we organize ourselves, how we create value, and maybe most importantly, how we even define leadership itself. You know, I've mentored founders, I've advised investors, and I've served on global AI ethics bodies. And it's all been driven by one single question. How do we build AI that doesn't just work, but that actually matters? How do we make sure that these incredibly powerful systems we're creating are truly aligned with human values and that they serve a purpose that goes beyond just simple cold optimization? So in this explainer, we're going to cut right through the hype so we can think a little deeper and hopefully build a lot wiser. All right, let's get into it. Here's the game plan for today. First, we're going to define what an AI-native organization really is. Then we'll dive into a real-world case study to see it in action. After that, we'll unpack the hidden dangers of this new model, especially when it comes to purpose and accountability. And then we'll finish up by looking at a more hopeful, a wiser path forward. You know, we still talk about companies as if they're all led by these visionary CEOs, right? People charting a course through sheer will and insight. But the reality is, right now, in 2025, some of the most powerful decisions in major organizations are being made by systems that no single human fully understands. And you know the scariest part? We didn't lose control in some big dramatic moment. We gave it away piece by piece, one automation at a time, all in the name of efficiency. So let's be super clear about what we're talking about here. An AI-native organization is not a company that just uses AI. It's not about having a cool chatbot or some predictive analytics. No, this is a company where AI is the core operating system. It's the central nervous system of the entire business. I mean, think about your own body. Your nervous system senses, it processes, and it reacts, most of the time without you even thinking about it. That's the shift we're talking about. AI is moving from being an application you run on your computer to being the fundamental architecture that runs the business itself. Okay, here's maybe the best way to get your head around this massive shift. A traditional company, it's like a bicycle. It's a fantastic tool, super efficient, but it needs constant human input. A person is pedaling, a person is steering, a person is keeping it balanced. The leader sets the direction, and everyone pedals. An AI-native work, though, that's more like a fully autonomous vehicle. It has sensors to see the road, processors to plan the route, and it can actually act on that plan. It can steer, accelerate, brake, all by itself. It learns from every single mile it drives without someone telling it what to do. And right there, that's the fundamental difference. In the old model, AI supports our decisions. In the new one, AI makes the decisions. And the humans, well, they execute. This isn't just a small step forward. It's a complete transformation. And listen, this isn't some science fiction movie plot. These are the actual hallmarks of organizations that are popping up right now. We're talking about autonomous strategy engines that don't just show you a dashboard. They analyze all the data and actually set the company's strategic goals. We're seeing self-optimizing workflows that don't just assign tasks. They literally reallocate entire teams and shift budgets in real time. There are AI talent managers handling everything from hiring to performance reviews, and yes, even firing. And maybe the most mind-bending of all are these recursive learning loops, where the AI isn't just doing its job, it's actively rewriting its own code to get smarter and more efficient, all on its own. Okay, so let's get out of the theory and into the real world. Let's look at that case study I mentioned earlier. I want to tell you the story of Nexora Labs, a bootstrapped AI startup I advised in Lagos. It's the perfect example because they had no venture capital funding, no traditional board of directors. From day one, they built the entire company around an autonomous decision-making engine. So here's how this thing actually worked. For hiring, the AI would scan thousands of profiles online, predicting not just skills but also cultural fit. And then it would conduct the first round of interviews all by itself through a chat interface. For budgeting, it analyzed the company's burn rate, revenue, market trends, and it would reallocate funds between departments, sometimes making huge changes overnight without a single human meeting. The product roadmap, that was all driven by the system. It would A/B test hundreds of little features on live users, measure what worked, and then directly tell the engineering team what to build next. No product manager needed. And for customer success, it would predict which customers were about to leave and automatically launch personalized campaigns to try and keep them. The human team was there to build, to sell, to support, but the strategy, the big decisions, were all coming from the model. And here's the crazy part, the part that makes this so seductive. It worked. I mean, it worked astonishingly well. In just 18 months, Nexora Labs grew by 300%. Let that sink in. The speed, the pure data-driven efficiency, the total removal of human bias and arguments in office politics, it produced absolutely incredible results. It's a level of optimization that a normal human-led company with all its meetings and egos could never even dream of. I'll never forget, I asked the founder one day, "So who's actually the CEO here? Who's in charge?" And he just kind of laughed and said, "The model is the CEO. I'm just the interface." And that phrase, "I'm just the interface," has stuck with me ever since. It's such a profound shift in what leadership means. He wasn't the captain steering the ship. He was the human API, the person who translated the machine's logic to the rest of the world and made sure its commands were followed. It's a model that's happening in more places than you might think. But this hyper-efficient, incredible model had a fatal flaw, a crack in the foundation. And we only found it when the seemingly perfect system made a huge mistake. And the nature of that mistake? Well, it revealed something deeply, fundamentally wrong with this whole idea. So picture this. You've got this self-improving organization. It's growing like crazy. The AI seems to be making all the right calls. It's perfect. But what happens when things go wrong? What happens when one line of code, buried deep inside a model that's been rewriting itself for months, has a bug? One morning, the founder woke up to his phone just blowing up, a flood of emails from confused, angry, panicked employees. A bug in the system had caused the AI to misread a tiny dip in projected revenue, so its cold, hard logic, based on its core mission to maximize efficiency, was to instantly fire 12% of the workforce to optimize margins. There was no warning, no human review, no conversation, just a cold, system-generated termination notice. The founder had to scramble to manually override everything and then spend weeks trying to undo the damage. That is not leadership. That is being a janitor for your own machine. And this is the crucial point, right here. This wasn't just a technical glitch at one little startup. The incident at Nexora Labs was like a flare in the dark. It exposed a fundamental, systemic flaw in this entire way of running a company. This is a problem that goes way beyond one bug or one startup. It boils down to this. When an AI acts autonomously, accountability vanishes. It just disappears. Think about it for a second. Who was to blame for firing all those people? Was it the developers who wrote the original code months ago? Was it the founder who decided to use the system? Or do we just shrug and say, the algorithm did it? We can blame a non-human thing. We create this vacuum right where responsibility and ownership used to be. There's no one to hold accountable. And because of that, there's no way to learn the lesson. And please, don't think this is just a startup thing. This exact delegation of executive power is happening at a massive scale right now. In finance, algorithmic trading systems are managing trillions of dollars, making decisions in microseconds that no human could ever process. In R&D, AI is designing new molecules and telling scientists which experiments are actually worth their time. In global operations, logistics AIs are rerouting entire fleets of container ships in real time. These are not just tools anymore. They are executive agents, making strategic decisions with almost no human oversight. So, what is the real cost of all this autonomy? Well, there are three big ones. First, as we saw, accountability vanishes. It just evaporates. Second, ethics erode. An AI that's only programmed to maximize profit will eventually find and exploit every loophole. It'll amplify biases, and it'll create unfair outcomes because it has no moral compass. And third, and maybe most tragically, vision fades. An AI can optimize a path to a goal with ruthless efficiency, but it cannot dream. It can't step back and ask, are we even climbing the right mountain? It can only ask, what's the fastest way to the top? This is the silent takeover we need to worry about, not a takeover of our jobs, but a takeover of our purpose. So we're at a crossroads. We can just accept this future of unaccountable, soulless optimization, or we can decide to build something different. There is an alternative. There is a wiser way to design these systems, a way that harnesses the incredible power of AI without giving up our own humanity. Look, the dominant model coming out of Silicon Valley is designed for one thing: speed. It automates ruthlessly because its primary goal is shareholder return and market dominance. And as a result, a lot of it, well, it lacks a soul. But there is a wiser model, one that's designed not for speed, but for wisdom. A model where AI serves a human vision instead of replacing it. A system that's built on the values of community and shared purpose. And I truly believe that places with deep-rooted communal values, like many across Africa, are uniquely positioned to lead this charge. This isn't about catching up to Silicon Valley. It's an opportunity to leapfrog this flawed model entirely. And this isn't just some fuzzy idealistic talk. This is a real strategic design choice. Imagine a Kenyan agricultural AI that before it gives a farmer advice is required to consult a database of elder wisdom on sustainable farming. Imagine a Nigerian fintech AI that's designed not just to make money, but to find and scale local grassroots innovation. Imagine a Rwandan public service AI that has the principle of Ubuntu, I am because we are, hard-coded into its core functions. In a world that is starving for trust, building for wisdom isn't just the right thing to do, it's a massive competitive advantage. And this really brings us to the single most important idea I want you to walk away with. The biggest threat from AI isn't some evil, world-conquering machine. It's our own quiet decision to step back. It's our own abdication of responsibility. It's hiding behind the easy excuse of the algorithm decided. We can build systems that serve a human vision. We can choose to lead. Because real leadership was never about having absolute control. It's about having vision. It's about having courage. It's about moral clarity. And that is a job that is, and always will be, ours. If this was valuable for you, please do 3 quick things. 1, hit the like button below. It really does tell the platform that this kind of conversation matters. 2, subscribe and hit that notification bell. In our next explainer, I'm going to break down the one phase that 99% of AI startups skip and why it's the secret to shipping faster. And 3, check out my analysis on work and purpose, from productivity to meaning making. I'm Marcel Masaga. Thank you for your time. And until next time, think deeper, build wiser, and lead with courage.